agua el tendido under Balaba. It's really confused now. We look a lot tanner because it's like a month later.
I know, right?
We already went to Honduras and Nicaragua now. So yes, we would like to fill you guys in on Lake Atitlan, which was
catch you up on Guatemala.
second stop in our trip. Third stop, I should say. But yeah, so we got the bus from Lanquin to Lake Atitlan, and there's a bunch of like, it's a volcanic lake. It goes like, I'm not sure how many meters down, but it's the deepest lake in Central America, they say. But it's a volcanic crater, and it's like mountains all around it, or volcanoes, and some of them are active. But so you go to Panachel, it's one of the towns, and there's like, I don't know how many towns around the island. We heard about Panachel, San Pedro Laguna, and then San Marcos and Santa Cruz. And so you basically take ferries from one to the other. You can take a road, but it's like really steep and hilly, and it costs a lot, and a tuk-tuk or a taxi. So basically you just take boats to get around from here to there. So we got to the dock in Panachel, and it's like 30 quetzales, which is like $4 to get across the lake. Our boat ride to San Pedro La Laguna. And then from San Pedro, it's like the backpacking town, so that's why we want to stay there. We heard it's cheaper. We had this place called Micaso booked, like this hotel. And we got there, everything's kind of condensed in San Pedro, but we walked like maybe 8 or 10 minutes out of the way to get to Micaso. And we were like, crap, this is gonna suck at first because we're so far out of the way, and it seemed kind of sketchy. We walked there at nighttime, through these alleys, super narrow alleys. Yeah. But it was fine because the next morning, the hotel is beautiful, the owner's really nice, and like, you look over the balcony, there's a lake right there, and it's like, there's some like Mayan ladies washing their clothes in the lake. And you kind of walk through this little alleys to get to downtown. And it's a super short walk. We found out the shortcut, and it means like we get to see more of the island walking to and from, or more of the town walking to and from downtown to our accommodation. So it's kind of nice to stay a little bit out of town. Yeah. And it gets really loud at night. It's like a party town because it's a backpacker town. So yeah, it was kind of nice. But yeah, from there, our plan was basically to recover from her sickness, and then I actually got food poisoning there once. Yeah. So just kind of take it slow and chill. We had a whole full week there, so booked for the full week at in San Pedro. So every day we basically take the ferry to another place. So one of the days we like explored San Pedro. Next one we took a ferry to San Marcos, and that was a cool little town, kind of like a spiritual town. So we got over there, and it was kind of small, not really our vibe, I guess. But there's a cool national park. You get off the boat, the ferry, and you walk along the beach to like this rocky bluff area. It's a national park. You pay like maybe $2 or $3 to get in the park, and you can hike around. And I saw this in the video.
Also, they don't have change.
Yes,
we figured that out. We had to walk in and then walk back out because we had to go grab some change. Yep. So bring exact change.
No one ever has change. It's a business model.
Yeah. What was it like? It was like 20Q?
Yeah, 20 or 30, maybe 40. It was like
40Q.
Yeah, 40Q.
Bring 40Q with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. To
get into the park.
Yeah.
So I saw videos before about this like platform you can jump off of in the water there, and I hadn't been in the water at all there because San Pedro's kind of nasty in the water. It's like kind of mucky, so I didn't really want to swim there, but I wanted to swim in the lake because we're at the lake. So went to the national park. There's this cool platform you can hop off in the water.
Yay!
Over there, there's some guys. I think it was 12 meters. They say, whoever they are. We heard 12 meters, so it's 12 meters. So yeah, it was fun. Hopped off. At first, it was kind of scary. Like you definitely splat a little bit. Even like your pencil dive flat feet still kind of hurt my ankles the next day, but it was cool. There's these girls trying to jump off, like encourage their friend to jump off. She'd been up there for like half an hour, like walking to the edge and be like, no, I can't do it. Walking to the edge.
She wanted to so bad.
Yeah, she couldn't quite do it. So, but yeah, and there was another guy up there. I think he was like a Swedish guy, and apparently he was like an acrobat in the circus in Sweden or something like that, or maybe it was Holland. But he was doing double backflips, like nailing it every time, like Chinese diver splash at the end. It was incredible. And yeah, after that we got the ferry back to San Pedro, and then the next day, or I'm not sure which day this was, but went to Panachel, check out the main town. That's where they say you can do the best shopping in all of Guatemala. It's like super cheap, and there's really long like central strip, this street, and there's just vendors on either side, and you can get like really cool Mayan stuff. Like they have these camera straps that are made out of Mayan fabric. You can get like anything you want, tapestries, like fanny packs that are colorful, Mayan print. And so that was pretty cool just for the day. And we kind of hung out at the Salinas there because they have Salinas are great to hang out. They're expensive, but you can go and hang out there and use their pool.
But we like to go and use their amenities.
And they had kombucha, and we need to get our enzymes in our stomach back to our normal levels. Yeah, from all the sicknesses. So had their kombucha and hang out at the pool. But and then we got to ride back to San Pedro, and then one of the days, I think it was actually on the way to San Marcos or San Pedro, but we met this guy, and he told us about this place called La Casa del Mundo, which is pretty epic.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. That was probably the highlight of the lake.
Mamacita, vámonos de fiesta. Y ahora en mi corazón tú estás. Y ya no quiero a nadie más. Contigo te quiero pasarla. Mamacita, vámonos de fiesta. Desde que te vi.
This is where we wound up today. We were on one of these little boats yesterday, a ferry boat going to Panajachel from San Pedro. And we stopped at this place called La Casa del Mundo. And this older gentleman hopped on board, and he's apparently been living here for the last 17 years building this place. And we talked to him, and he said this, told us all about it. We could tell from, just where we were that it was gonna be an epic spot. It looked like a lot of fun to spend the day. And he's like, yeah, you can actually spend the day here. If you're not staying here, you just, buy some lunch or breakfast or something, some drinks, and you can hang out here for the day. So that's what we did. Great place to spend the day. We were just hoping to find somewhere where you could, hang out in the water's edge, and this is basically as good as it gets. And whenever we want to go home, we just go to the dock over there and flag down one of the boats coming from Panajachel over to San Pedro. And they pull in, and it's like $3 US to get back to San Pedro. So it's a win. Y ahora en mi corazón tú estás. Y ya no quiero a nadie más. Contigo me quiero pasarla. Mamacita, vámonos de fiesta. Y ahora en mi corazón tú estás. Y ya no quiero a nadie más. Contigo me quiero pasarla. Mamacita, vámonos de fiesta. Desde que te vi. It's the best place if you want to just hang out in the water and like splash around. It's like rocky bluffs, so there's no muck or anything. It just gets really deep and the water's really clean.
Yeah, it's so calm too there. Like I had some great reading and stuff. It was incredible. Very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Kind of expensive. We couldn't afford to stay there.
Yeah.
But worth it for a day, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and back in San Pedro, we only did this like once or twice, but we arrived on a Saturday night, and we were just walking town after we dropped off all our luggage at the accommodation. And so we were walking down looking for a bar or restaurant or something. And then we saw this place that was like blasting music. Went in there, I think it's called Sunshine?
No.
Sunrise? Sunshine?
No.
Anyways.
We're gonna need to look it up.
Yeah, anyways, we walked in there and they were blasting, they had a DJ blasting reggaeton, like kind of packed on the dance floor. We walked in there, we found this place to sit, got some really good food, and it was just like a total vibe in there. It was really cool. Lake. A week there, we went to Surf Town, which is like my favorite spot on the trip thus far. And so yeah, we basically got back to Panajachel, hopped on it was a shuttle, right?
Yeah.
Shuttle, yeah. So a shuttle, they call them. It's a van. It's like a big Toyota passenger van.
We took it from San Pedro.
Okay.
Yeah. Took the shuttle from San Pedro. You can do a couple options. So you could either take the shuttle from San Pedro. It just takes longer. So the roads, like he was mentioning before, like really windy to go kind of like around the lake driving. So you could either do that, or you could go on the ferry to Panajachel and then go and take a shuttle from there. So the reason we chose to take a shuttle was because we wanted to leave super early in the morning. So we wanted to leave at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, that was
to get to El Paredón. We were so excited to get to a beach town. Yeah.
But the shuttle, it was actually scheduled for 5 a.m. So that was awesome. But I think it was the night before. The lady of the company, she messaged me on WhatsApp. And it's like, we don't have enough people to do this trip. So if you can wait till 8 o'clock tomorrow, we have enough people to actually fill up the van. You have to have a certain amount of people just to go. So we ended up having to wait till 8 o'clock, which was fine.
Yeah.
Got a little more sleep.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, there was a pretty nice little bus ride.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Yeah, it wasn't as long. I think it was like 3 hours or so back to Antigua.
And then
Antigua, we had a 2-hour layover, and then on to El Paredón.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like we said, because Antigua is like that central hub, so we kept visiting it like over and over again. We're like, oh, is this like our third or fourth time here? Okay.
It's a good place to be like the middleman kind of town where you pass through a lot and like you know where everything is. You know there's the good restaurants, good shops, good like places to stay for the night. It's like a good hub for like getting what you need and refreshing yourself, I guess.
Totally. And definitely would recommend, like he was saying, getting what you need there, because when you go off to like Lake Atitlan and El Paredón and all these other places, they're a little bit more remote, and so they won't necessarily have all the things that you'll need. Little things, you know, it's like if you need some like more shampoo or you need an ATM or something like that, you will find it along the way in those other areas, but it's just not as easy to find. So Antigua's just got it all. It's really easy to find everything. All right, so now talking about El Paredón. So like we said, it's like a small little surf town. We did a lot of research before going because neither one of us had really talked to anyone who'd been there before. So we kind of did our own research on that. And we found that the prices were quite expensive. We weren't expecting that really, but what we found was this place called Kokori, and it's kind of like a beachy surf hostel. We ended up paying $45 a night for this little hut. It was a private, so obviously that was really nice. Shared bathroom. I think everybody had a shared bathroom. I don't think there's a private there that had like its own. But yeah, $45 for us is the most we've spent so far.
It was literally a shack, like maybe like 8 by 10 feet or so.
Yeah.
Short roof, and they had a bed on the ground, a twin bed on the ground, and then next to it, between it, there was a little like dresser or something, then another single bed on their side, literally on the ground, the mattress on the ground, and like one sheet, and then a fan, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like very basic.
Yeah, so it was super cute, and we were happy to have a private, but it was just a lot more expensive. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Aquí se alquila.
¿Qué?
Se alquila.
Se
renta.
Oh, renta.
Sí, sí.
All right, so obviously we just got kicked out of that little spot that we were sitting at. So it was like a little shack on the beach, and apparently he was trying to tell us that you have to rent that space. But it was really funny because it was way down the beach, like way to the left, where there's like never.
It was very unassuming. It looked like an abandoned little like shack. There's potato sacks covering some of the sides.
Yeah, but hey, that's okay. Everybody's trying to make a buck, you know what I mean? So yeah, where we left off was I was just talking about Kokori, where we stayed. We thought it was, you know, a really cool hostel. Obviously, we wish we had paid less, but when we had looked around, there was seriously nothing that was even like, you know, way less cheaper or anything like that. It was just all really expensive. So we had to kind of like bite the bullet, pay the $45 a night. But we made the most of it for sure. I mean, it was like a super cool hostel right on the beach. Literally, like you could be sitting having food at the restaurant and you're like watching the waves right there. You know, like I'd be like watching Clive surf and everything.
Beautiful spot.
Beautiful. And great pool, even like for lap swimmers. We noticed like they were getting their exercise in. We're like, okay, cool. We do some reading by the pool. It was really awesome.
If you were trying to find a location for a reggaeton music video, that'd be a good spot.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's so good. It's so good. Yeah. And I'm not sure how often they have parties there. We did have a couple travelers tell us that they do have parties there every night. The first night that we arrived, we were pretty tired, so we weren't really in the mood to party, but there was a huge party at the hostel, and they had hired a DJ and everything, and the DJ was playing some bangers, like some 90s, 2000 bangers that like we haven't heard in a long time.
90s rock, there's some like early Eminem, and at one point it like transitioned into like 90s rock, like really hardcore stuff, and like people were moshing. Yeah.
Clive was like, hold my wallet. I'm gonna go out there right now.
In there.
Like, dude,
but it died out quickly, but it still was really cool.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
Great
so
DJ.
If you like to party, definitely stay at Cokery. I wrote down a couple other places, so don't mind me because I am going to read my notes. There is also Mellow Hostel, so that one was really cool because it had this awesome yoga deck spot. So for me, I'm always looking for like a yoga zone, either place where I can practice myself and I don't have like too much interference, or a place that just has yoga, you know, where you like pay a small fee normally. And I love taking classes. It's so amazing. And like the girl that I had as my teacher both times that I went, like her second or maybe even third language is English. So it was just really inspiring to see her teach something like yoga, where it wasn't even her first language to be speaking in English, but she was still doing it, and it was so cute and so awesome to take a class out there. That was really awesome. It's a beautiful hostel, super calm, hence the name Mellow. And it's about like a 5-minute walk to the beach. So our hostel was right on the beach. Mellow is just like a 5-minute walk. So people were taking their boards, you know, and walking the 5 minutes down to the beach. It's perfect. Brand new. It was about like 1 year old or something like that. Yeah. Super clean, really good food, great Wi-Fi. So that was the only thing too about like our hostel. Mellow was really only the place that we found good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that would have been the go-to. Like the call would have been Mellow Yellow if we had known about beforehand. But we got Cokery. Cokery is beautiful, but like I would go and eat there and like party there and hang out there all day long. But I wouldn't want to stay there. Probably Mellow is the way to go. It's mellow.
It's mellow.
It's all in the name.
But if you like to party, maybe you want to stay.
There's a party every night, everywhere, so you can always party.
We don't
no lack of party there.
We just don't want to party every night. And when we want to go to bed, we want to fall asleep and not have to like wear earplugs all night, you know? That sounds so lame to say, but it's true. So then there was also Driftwood Surf House, which was a couple doors down to the left of where we were staying at Cokery, so still beachfront. That one was definitely like not as clean, but there was like a pool table. Food was great. We got ceviche, which I was stoked to find some really good ceviche. Kind of party-ish. There's a pool bar, so like swim up pool bar. That's pretty cool.
Spot.
Yeah. So we like to go to like all the different hostels and just like buy some food and chill for a little bit at each one.
I think you said it, or someone, it might have been you, but like it was probably, when you're looking online on YouTube videos, like the spot to go to was like Driftwood.
Yeah.
And I think that's because all the places now like Cokery and Mellow are like within the last 2 years old, maybe post-COVID new. So like everything is brand new there except for Driftwood. So it seems like it's more of a proper backpacker hostel.
Yeah.
But it's not the only thing anymore. So now there's like Cokery and all these other places. So it's not like the crazy party hostel that we had heard about initially. For sure, late night parties there, but like it's not the only one anymore. So
yeah,
a lot of options.
Yeah, definitely. But the only thing is they're all about the same price point. So you're gonna just expect to pay about $40 to $45 if you want a private. Dorms, since like we are a couple, we haven't stayed in dorms too often on our trips. Those might be a lot cheaper, I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely look into it, do your own research. I did write down the food places that we ate at too, because there were some great food options in El Paredón. So Soul Food Kitchen is a Thai restaurant, and the guy who owns it is the sweetest person ever. He's super chatty and just like goes to each table kind of making sure they're okay and just wants to talk to people.
Yeah, like an older North American guy, and he's like he's a host. He's a host to the core.
Yeah, food was amazing. Really good portion sizes too. And we had dessert there, which we haven't really like gotten a lot of dessert while we've been traveling, but oh my gosh, it was incredible. Awesome. Very rich and delectable. Cake. Yeah. Yep. So the price, we shared and paid 150 Q for 2 glasses of wine, 2 juices, 1 entree, and 1 dessert. So that just gives you like a rough estimate.
Yeah, so
of, like,
pretty affordable. And the glasses of wine, they're like a regular like a glass of wine you get at like a fair or something back in America.
Like a goblet.
And they were all the way full. So it was like a full like 10 ounces, 12 ounces of wine. So, good deal.
Great deal. Okay, so on the other end of that would be Bella Luna. So Bella Luna is actually a local spot. You can tell it's one of those places where it probably started as like a street vendor, and the ladies probably were just killing it. And so they ended up, buying a storefront and, having it be street food, but it looks a little bit more like a restaurant. So it's really awesome. So street food-ish. The food was like crazy because it was just pretty basic, but so freaking good. Like it was like the ingredients were just very simple, but it was amazing. Yeah.
They cook it like it's still cooked on the street. Like they're outside of the building. They don't cook inside. They cook outside on the grill there. And I think it's maybe they put cheese. Like I don't know if it's American cheese or what it is, but
we couldn't
it
figure
makes
it
it
out.
Amazing. Yeah.
Incredible.
That was the best.
So it was so funny.
And super cheap.
We were like, we just want a little snack. So we're gonna order 1 burrito. Okay, cool. We ordered a burrito, and literally both of us first bite were like, oh my gosh. We each need our own. Like, this is ridiculous. This is so good.
Yeah, we ordered 3 or 4 consecutive burritos that night.
Like, must. And we went back, too, because we just wanted to try more things. I think there's only, like, 3 things on the menu, though. But they don't need anything
like a plate of food, a sandwich with the same meat as the burrito.
Yeah.
And a burrito.
Yeah.
So.
And then last one, Pacifico is an Italian food restaurant. Huge portions there. So we didn't know that, and we ended up each getting our own pasta dish. Oh, I felt so bad wasting food. I think we ended up giving it to there was this couple that their food was kind of taking a while. It does take a long time. Everywhere in El Paredón takes a long time for food. So we ended up giving them some of our food, and then I think like a dog or something. So it worked out. But portion size is huge, so maybe start by sharing something, and then if that doesn't fill you up, which would be impressive. Yeah,
very, very worth it. Super good Alfredo pasta.
So good. And okay, the owner there, such a funny guy. He was Israeli, right?
Israeli, yeah.
Yeah, Israeli guy. A lot of Israelis, actually in Guatemala as a whole, traveling. But so funny. He'd just randomly start dancing, and he was the vibe. He was going up to tables and just cracking jokes and just being funny and dancing, and we're like, dude, this guy is awesome.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tables there, 6 tables or so. Not tables, they're kind of on the ground, so you're sitting really low. Yeah, good for playing cards. But,
and we shared a table with a couple. And that's what's really cool too, is we noticed a lot of people they'd come in a little bit later. There wouldn't look like there'd be any place to sit, so you'd end up sharing a table, and I love that. It's great because then we end up talking to the people next to us, and so it was really, really fun. So great food options we found in El Paredón. Yeah, awesome serve.
before we got there, I recognized him when we walked in there, and he's the kind of guy where if a song comes on he really likes, he's like vibing with it, he'll look at everyone and like he'll like point to them and start dancing. All of a sudden everyone stops eating. They're watching him walk down the aisle of the tables, just dancing, like pointing at people. Like he's like an MC naturally.
Totally.
But the first night we saw him, the very first night we got there at the party, I noticed this guy dancing there with like 2 different flip-flops on. Like he had a slide and a flip-flop. He was dancing there all crazy. Like this is early on. This is like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it's like the local like crazy guy or something. And then he owns this restaurant. He was just a really good time.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Does that pretty much wrap it up for El Paredón?
Yeah, I mean the surf was good. It was a little slower. It was like, I don't know, 3 to 4 feet waves in the mornings. But after about, I think, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, the wind picks up. And it's an offshore wind, so it just blows everything out. And it's pretty much nasty until like sunset. Some people surf, which is all right. But basically like, you know, sunrise, 6 o'clock or whatever this time of year. And what is it, January, February?
Yeah.
6 o'clock to like 9:30, 10 is great surf. Like really clean, no wind. Yeah.
No wind.
No wind.
No wind.
Good little peaks. It was a lot of fun. You can get some mini barrels. But yeah, it's a good place to surf.
Yeah. And I will say, so Kokiri, they have this amazing yoga like mecca area. It's just incredible. So you walk upstairs and it's just open to whoever is staying there, and you can use it whenever you want. There is a yoga class that goes on at 11, which is way too late in my opinion because it gets so hot. So I'd always get there at like 8 a.m. and do my own practice. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And it's one of those like thatched roofs that opens up so you literally see the ocean as you're practicing yoga.
Great Instagram photo for it. It looks really cool. Pretty epic.
Instagram photo. This guy's all about the gram.
It is good. It is good.
Just kidding.
All about the gram.
Cool. That pretty much wraps up Guatemala for us. From Guatemala, we ended up going to Honduras. But we only really wanted to go to one place in Honduras because we wanted to go diving. So we went to Utila. I don't think we're going to make our own separate video for it because we didn't take a lot of footage.
It was a little detour just to like go to the Caribbean for a second and then, you know, be in Utila. I've been there before. I knew what it was like, and it's a great place to chill out for a week and then dive, whatever, have fun.
Yeah.
But no, any more than that is probably too much there.
But if you are looking for recommendations on Utila, we stayed in Alton's. That was super, super clean. Will say though, I think that I would recommend Underwater Vision over Alton's because Clive went to Underwater Vision and got his open water certification the first time, but then when we went back, so the only reason we didn't go there is just because Alton's had a better deal for a couple. I was doing my open water and he was doing his
like
advanced,
a private
so
dive, private room dive package. It was a little bit better at Alton's.
But the only reason I say that is because Underwater has more of a vibe. Like people are there to hang out. You know, it's a very like group mentality. You're all there to do the same thing. And also, I just think that the instructors were a little bit more patient and nice. Not saying that the ones at Alton's were mean or anything like that. I just think as a female, I need some, I don't know, what am I trying to say?
Like someone who's a teacher, like someone who's a great like elementary teacher, or like you know, someone who's like more caring and calm. I think Alton's is more like if you want to do advanced courses, like advanced diver, rescue diver, that'd be the place to go to. They're like by the books, really, really good. But as far as like just an intro class or like your first time diving, maybe not the place for that. But, like this,
I just needed some more like comfort from my instructor.
It's a freaky thing,
because it's diving, there's nothing natural about it. So I just needed somebody to like be there with me and just remind me to breathe and remind me that it's okay that I'm freaking out, and here's some responses of like what you can do when you're freaking out, you know, not just like, why are you freaking out? It's weird, you know?
But we did dive and we did have a good time.
Yes.
So it was
but
a beautiful day.
We're not saying don't go to Alton's. If you want to do advanced diving and you are a more like drill sergeant by the book, go to Alton's. It's awesome. But if you need a little bit more like care and
if you want to meet people too,
yeah,
like we'd always like every morning almost go to breakfast or something at a Underwater Vision, and they have like trivia nights on Thursdays.
Yeah, there's things going on.
They have like karaoke on Wednesday, I think. So it's always like people to meet and people to hang out with there.
Yeah.
But.
And then if you end up making your way to Utila, you definitely need to check out Tritanic. So we had heard that there is a party there, and we just happened to be there like at the time that they have parties, because I guess they only have them like once every 2 months or so. And oh my gosh, this place was so cool. The guy, he's an older gentleman. Unfortunately, we didn't get to meet him when we were there, but he's been working on this place for about 25 years. And you can tell it's a work of art. Like, it's incredible. Stonework, tile work, all formed into like animals and caves and tree bridges and all this stuff.
Passion project.
Yeah,
we
were like, there needs to be a festival here.
And there was.
But like a big festival, like a couple day festival. But we got to go to a party there, and that was really awesome. So if you happen to hear of a party at Tritanic,
we got to bed at like 2:30 maybe, but I woke up in the morning like 6:30 to use the restroom, and there's people everywhere in the yard just getting back.
Yeah.
It was
team no sleep, I guess.
Time. It was a good time. But the sun is going down right now, and I need to get in a sunset surf.
Yep.
So we gotta go.
Okay.
Bye-bye.